Minister, Dame Harriett Baldwin.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker, and can I thank the Secretary of State for advance sight of his statement. We on these benches very much believe in a sovereign steel industry, but what we see today is a multi-billion-pound shot in the dark, and it heralds, Madam Deputy Speaker, the end of primary steel production in the UK.
Yes, it does.
And to set the record straight and to be clear, there'd no longer be any steel production in Wales without action from the last government. Today's steel strategy has no plan to make the industry stand on its own 2 feet. It's risking a permanent state-funded drain on taxpayers. Because British Steel was losing £700,000 a day when the government took emergency action last year, and now the taxpayer is losing an estimated £1.3 million a day. It's a subsidy of £110,000 per job to keep the Scunthorpe blast furnace operational. This steel strategy doesn't include any exit strategy, risking a permanent drain on taxpayers. And now the government is negotiating handing taxpayers' money to a Chinese business which it said was worth nothing, while hitting British users of steel with a 50% tariff hike. Now, given the previous Secretary of State said that British Steel had zero value, will this current Secretary of State confirm whether compensation will be paid to Jingyi? How are these new tariffs going to harm the cost of living for our constituents? How much will the tariffs raise? These tariffs are a massive tax hike on our world-leading automotive, defence and aerospace sectors that will make building homes, bridges and railways more expensive. So has the government carried out any impact assessment on these tariffs? Won't jobs be lost in these other sectors? The government says in its strategy that electric arc furnaces are the future, but without competitive energy, green steel will simply become no steel. If electric arc furnaces are the future, when will the blast furnaces at Scunthorpe be decommissioned? How many jobs are going to be lost in that process? Where will the £2.5 billion go, Madam Deputy Speaker? Is it all going into the Scunthorpe blast furnaces? And how is this £2.5 billion spending spree fiscally responsible? What is the Secretary of State cutting to pay for it? The so-called National Wealth Fund is rapidly becoming the National Slush Fund. Our Shadow Secretary of State for Energy, Secretary and Net Zero has announced our cheap power plan, slashing energy bills for businesses and households. The Conservatives will axe the carbon tax, scrap extortionate subsidies for wind and solar, repeal the Climate Change Act and end the ban on new oil and gas licences to maximise domestic extraction and reduce dependence on foreign energy imports. Could the Secretary of State please copy this approach? Because this is a government subsidising decline, reaching for protectionist tariffs, and after the botched nationalisation of Scunthorpe and the surrender of the Chagos Islands, we can see from this steel strategy that when Labour negotiates, the British taxpayer loses.